The number one running back of the class of 26. Is it Derrek Cooper, Javian Osborne, Tradarian Ball, or somebody else? Plus, Clemson. Yes, they will be changing their NIL stance.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back into the portal. I am your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst and writer. Thank you for making the portal your first listen each and every day. Happy to have you in here to talk all the things in the recruiting world, NIL, and transfer portal. And today's show is going to be fun. We're going to wrap up talking about why Clemson, yes, prediction, they will be changing their NIL stance. That is going to be my prediction for today. But we start off with running back rankings, and there are 5 guys that I'm going to list. If you wanted to put them on a different platform and look at them at DB, or if you wanted to look at them as receivers, etc., these guys are very versatile, and I love that. That is my theme today. The number one running back will be the last guy I mentioned, but we're starting at number 5, and that player is Tradarian Ball, maybe the most explosive of this group. Kid out of Texas High School in Texarkana, Texas. My goodness, can he run? Oregon is fortunate enough to have him committed in their 2026 recruiting class. 5'9", 5'10", 180 pounds. He reminds me, albeit slightly smaller, he reminds me in terms of his style of play and how well he catches the football and how well he is used all over the field, of Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. He'll hurdle a guy like Love does, and he's famous for. He will take a deep route over the middle and catch it post, but he's a receiver. Or is he a running back? What is he? He's a football player. Tradarian Ball is just a great athlete in pads. You can put him anywhere. If you put him at corner, he'd figure it out. If you put him at free safety, he would figure it out. But again, versatility is key in today's game. If you're going to win big in college football on offense and score a lot of points, your running back can't just be a between the tackles guy or just a fast player. You got to be versatile. The way Ball is used, I think he will fit into Oregon's offense, or if he'd have picked anywhere else, very well, because he catches the football like a receiver. And in the running game, whether it's an outside run, if he cuts back on a gap play, doesn't matter what it is, he has the speed to score. Elite, foot in the ground, change direction, then hit top gear again ability. That 1-2 with him is just electric. He is a special football player, and the Ducks are fortunate to get him. Number 4 on my list is a guy that is similar, just slightly bigger. Brian Bonner out of Valencia, California, just outside of LA. This is the kid that I love his vision. One cut. You didn't seal off the backside. Adios. He is gone. He is also a kid that has the ability to run down the field and catch a pass. He's versatile, similar to Ball, but again, just slightly bigger. They are pretty much carbon copies of one another, and their speed. You can just go ahead and head towards the sideline. If they get a step on you, these guys are probably 10-5 or better when they're in top track shape. I don't think many guys are going to catch them. Both of them really, in all honesty, Jeremiah Love and players like that hit the home run, that's who they remind me of. Number 3 is a player that some people even have number 1, and I certainly had him in consideration as well. That is Mr. Hiter. Savion Hiter is one of the most well-rounded and balanced players, regardless of position, in the class of 2026. I like him a lot. He's out of Louisiana County in Virginia. I saw him at Under Armour. The power and the change of direction between the tackles. If you ask me just a guy between the tackles who I like the best, it'd be Hiter. I love his ability to change directions, run with a good pad level, and run a guy over if need be. But he also has the speed to score. Probably the safest pick among these 5 to end up in the NFL just based on his all-around skills. And again, that's why I think he's certainly a candidate to be the number 1 running back, but I want to see him catch the ball more. I didn't see him enough this past January when I was in Orlando to see the Under Armour game and all the practices. I want to see him catch it more. To that point, same event, Javian Osborne out of Forney, Texas, basically Dallas. That kid caught the ball really well. I had a chance to see him a little bit more just where I was on the field when everything was going on, and I thought he was electric in that kind of situation where they put him in the slot or they could do whatever they wanted, catch screens. And he took the routes and everything with the coaching like a pro. I think you could play Osborne at receiver, especially in the slot. He's not the biggest guy. He's 5'10", 5'11", 185, 190 pounds, something like that. But he caught the ball so well, I was just overwhelmed with it. And as a runner, incredible vision. Between the tackles, I like Hiter the best. I would take Osborne second. I think his ability to make a guy miss, change directions at the line, find a backside hole where it wasn't even designed to go is absolutely elite. And number one on my list, Derrek Cooper out of Chaminade Madonna High School in South Florida. He's pretty much what I was just talking about with Hiter and Osborne, but at 205 pounds and a kid that, if he wanted to, could be the number one strong safety or weak side linebacker. Incredible all-around athlete. Just football player. You could argue that Derrek Cooper is just the best pure football player in the class of 26. And I know that's not a position, but I'm just saying on special teams, third down, put him in the slot like several of these other guys. Catches the football well. I'll define that more in a moment. And above all else, physicality. Derrek is a physical football player as soon as he puts the cleats on. Between the tackles, catching a pass, turn around, run over somebody, whatever it is, Derrek Cooper is a physical football player. Georgia's probably where he's going to end up from everything I've heard, but Miami, Florida State, and numerous other programs would love to change his mind. We'll see how that goes. I believe personally that this kid's upside is still very high. Here's the other thing. He's played other spots. Once he concentrates on just one position at the college level, how good will Coop get? That was the deciding factor for me, placing him at number one. He still hasn't focused just on being a running back. He's played defense part of his career coming up. Now that he's starting to trend towards just playing running back for the long term, I'm sure he'll play defense some this year at Chaminade. That's a kid that's going to take another step up. Vision, cutback ability, power, speed, hands. He is a complete package at the running back position. And again, I've seen him at multiple events. I've seen him compete as hard as anybody, even though he has all the offers. At the Under Armour event this past weekend, just outside of Miami, he didn't have to run the 40. He ran it twice. He didn't have to do the broad jump. He did it. He didn't have to do one-on-ones. He did it. He loves to compete. With all that physicality and skill, Derrek Cooper is a very special football player. So wherever he ends up, they're going to get a world-class athlete. Next up, yes, Clemson is going to be changing their NIL stance. That is today's prediction here on the portal. It is next here on the portal. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. The easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast, coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for a trade pro looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program also offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Today's prediction is about the Clemson Tigers. If you look back at this past portal cycle, Clemson finally dipped their toe into the water. They took a few guys. Here's what I know about Clemson prior to this and what I'm projecting they will do moving forward thereafter. Number one, they would not go high. They would offer NIL money with recruits. I had firsthand account of some of this with some of the guys they'd went after over the last few years. There are a few exceptions here and there, but by and large, they were a much lower number. They'd offer 75 grand or something to that level when somebody else would offer 300. Like, they did not want you to pick their school because of NIL. Now, Dabo's never shied away from saying that, but that is truly who they were. Again, this isn't just hearsay. Like, these are firsthand conversations. So that's a different kind of deal. Secondarily, they didn't want their program to be based on money. They wanted it to be based on who had earned it. So they would pay guys more in-house after you'd been there. That's their deal. That's fine. But if you go into the portal and get good players, and they got a couple, you're not going to go in there and get them without spending some money. So there is a difference here. They have changed their NIL at least a little bit based just on the transfer portal, because those guys didn't come to Clemson to get any cash. They came to Clemson because they wanted to be a part of the program and the cash. They're still not going to go away from, hey, this is our brand and all that. But they'd earned their money in another school's uniform prior to coming there. That's the change. I don't know why Dabo decided to wait this long to do it, or if other people talked him into it. I have no idea. But moving forward, I think you're going to see something else be added. And this is the final point on why I think Clemson will flat out change their NIL stance. They're going to be really good this year. Not just like top 20, top 15. They got a chance to be top 5 in the nation. They got a senior quarterback that started since later on in his freshman season. They have a bevy of really fast receivers. Their defensive front's going to be good. And the ACC is not great. They got a chance to run the table in the regular season. But they're still not as deep as a few other teams. Will Clemson win it? I mean, they could. You never know. Senior quarterback, Dabo's got a good staff, etc. It's possible. But I think they're going to come up a play or two short, and really a player or two short, because they didn't spend enough NIL money. And that could have been a recruiting, portal, combination, whatever you want. But if they had, I think they're going to look back at this season. I think they're going to make the Final Four and then get beat and say, if we'd have spent a little bit more money, we'd be in the national title game. That's going to be the final point for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Clemson's going to look back and be retroactive and say, maybe we should have done this, that, or the other, and pick the position. Maybe it's corner, maybe it's another defensive lineman, maybe it's an offensive guard, whatever it may be. I think they're going to see this as an opportunity to get better moving forward, but Klubnik's going to be gone. So I think they're going to spend more money in NIL strategically. They're never going to do what some other schools do, like Texas Tech. They're not going to spend money like USC, etc. But they will be more selective and up the ante a little bit in NIL after this year. That is my prediction for today. Thank you once again for making the portal your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to talk everything going on in the recruiting world, NIL, and the transfer portal. It's a lot of fun for me. So make sure you come back and check us out. I don't know how many of these I'm going to be able to do a day, but I'm trying to get at least 2 in. Sometimes there's 3. So it's not like there's a lack of activity here on the portal. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I got John Garcia. I've got some other people coming on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun talking major college football recruiting. So make sure you check us out again, like and subscribe. We will see you again soon on the portal.